Hey class, today I'm going to be talking about where I stand on abolishing the death penalty. I am for getting rid of the death penalty. Um, to me, it's a hypocritical thing to do, sentencing someone to death because of what they did. And a lot of people that are on death row right now are homicides or murders and all that kind of stuff that deals with taking another person's life. But if we really get into it and start thinking about the death penalty, you're killing somebody because they killed somebody else. So it's a giant chain of events of just killing people if they keep the death penalty around. Um, a few facts about the death penalty that a lot of people don't know and they don't take into consideration when they actually make their final decision whether they're for or against the death penalty. It costs more to actually execute a person than it does to leave them in prison for life. I don't see why people complain about the overpopulation in prisons and the death penalty needs to be enforced more than it already is. And their main argument is the money that we're spending that goes towards the jails and the prisons, when in reality, we're paying more for the death penalty. California has spent over $4 billion on the death penalty since 1978, and they're projected to spend another $1 billion on the death penalty in the next 5 years. That's a ridiculous amount of money, if you ask me. 140 men and women have been released from death row due to lack of actual evidence. They're sentencing people to death row, but they're not actually looking at all the evidence. They're going off of what they hear, and whether they think it's right or not, they're putting them on death penalty. In recent years, there have been 4 men actually sentenced to the death penalty and executed, and later on it was found out that they were innocent. And you know what can you do to help somebody once they're already gone? You can try giving families money like they do, but you know, if you lose somebody in your life, especially if they're wrongly accused, any amount of money isn't going to replace that. 37 states still have the death penalty, which just amazes me because over half the world is pro abolishing the death penalty. So if that's how everybody feels, and we all think, or excuse me, half of the world thinks that it should be no longer legal and no longer available, then why are 37 states, a great majority of our states, still pro death penalty and still have it in their states? Another thing is the crime rate in states that do not have the death penalty on average is lower than the crime in the states that do have the death penalty. So that kind of rules out using it for an intimidation factor or anything that you could think of like that. There's a few different ways that the death penalty can actually take place. One is the electric chair. This one is still commonly used, but it's starting to die out because of the pain involved, and they try not to torture you per se too much during all that. The most important one that they do, and the one that, you know, I don't support the death penalty, but if you're going to do it, I support this way, is they do the lethal injection, which they inject multiple things into your body, one to put you asleep, one to stop your nerves, and then one slows your heart, and then another one stops your breathing. That seems like the most civil way to go, but once again, I'm not for it at all. But in the older days and over in some other countries, they still use hanging to death. Normally they just have you stand on a platform and they put the rope around your neck and the platform will drop out from underneath you. I don't support that one at all. I think that kind of goes under the cruel and unusual punishment. My big question is, what are they teaching the youth? By sentencing somebody to the death penalty and killing them, like what are they trying to prove by doing that? And I can't understand it. As a kid, I know if I saw somebody killing another person, regardless of the circumstances, I would think they're in the wrong, and I wouldn't react to that appropriately. I wouldn't react positively. It wouldn't affect my mind to make me want to do better things. It would actually implant in my head that you're killing somebody for doing something wrong. So therefore, in the future, in your childhood, you don't know any better. So if somebody does something wrong to you, you could accidentally take it out of proportion and hurt somebody seriously or kill them. 74% of our states in the United States are pro death penalty, which I don't understand that. I feel as if they take not a mass majority vote of the death penalty, but only the certain people that are in office in that state. So all around, I'm completely against the death penalty. I don't support it whatsoever. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. But we can't get rid of it unless everybody speaks out and starts acting against it. There hasn't really been anybody that has finally stepped forward and started arguing against the death penalty. Everybody just says they don't like it. But the only way we can fix this is if we step up ourselves and start taking action towards the death penalty to try to get rid of it. My works cited are Death Penalty Focus, which is available online at www.deathpenalty.org. And my next one is The Death Penalty. It's also available online at www.deathpenalty.org/section. Thank you.